Welcome back, everybody. Hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. Hope that you can hear me okay at the audio. I'm outside today. It's actually kind of a nice day here towards the end of middle of November here in Chicago. It's getting colder. I'm actually going to be attending the Chicago Sports Spectacular next weekend. I think it's projected to be probably somewhere in the 20-degree range. I think for those few weekend days over the course of the next coming weekend. A lot going on. Obviously, I want to talk a little bit about that. Also wanted to kind of point out, like, hey, we got the World Cup coming up now. So that's a really big event that I think most of the world looks forward to every 4 years, including myself. It's a little weird. It's in the holidays this year. I do feel like the event itself has a little bit taken away from it by not having it during the summer, which I totally understand why when you're playing in the desert, you have to try and do it during the coolest point of the year. Which for them obviously is going to be near the winter solstice. Now this is not going to be like a tirade about it, how it got to Qatar, or Qatar I should say, or that that it's being played in the winter. That's not really going to be what this video is really about. I think there's enough people that are more educated on the topic than I am that have written on it or have commentated on it. So I'll kind of leave that alone. But for all of us big soccer fans out there, we're going to be looking at the biggest point of the year. I'd like to hear from you guys. Who are you pulling for out there? What nations are you pulling for? I'm assuming a good majority of us are going to at least have an interest in what the United States men's national team does this time. Myself, I'm interested to see how some of these young guys start to meld together. They didn't have a lot of time to prepare, but neither did the other teams. So they're just kind of leaving their European seasons like right now, and then they're going to be going right into action this coming weekend. So it's not a lot of time to prepare, I think, for something that is big as the World Cup, which is going to be a challenge to see. It might be an opportunity for a team like the United States to, beat a team like England. Or it could also be an opportunity for them to lose to Wales. So that's where I'm kind of like, I don't know what to expect from the team. Pulisic's been playing a little bit better lately, which is our biggest player on the men's national team, but he's a bench player on Chelsea, but he's been a kind of a breath of fresh air when he does come into games. A little bit of change of tempo. And I think over the course of a game against some opponents, that's probably going to be pretty effective in kind of watching them. But I think the last time since we spoke to also the Houston Astros won the World Series, I'm going to also kind of withhold my comment about Houston. I think there's more people that are more educated on the topic that probably has a better, could be better to listen to than I. But in this one, they earned it. They earned it this year. So there's definitely a lot of talent on that team, and good thing for Dusty. I kind of like that Topps actually put out a card for him on their Topps Living set for Dusty Baker. I think it's the first manager card they decided to do in that series. Well deserved. Well deserved. All right, so I'm coming off the heels of another Bears loss, even though they're starting to play a little bit better. So that's been kind of fun to watch. My favorite soccer team yesterday just looked terrible. So it's been kind of an interesting weekend. But I want to just talk a little bit about the Chicago Sports Spectacular. I hope you guys have an opportunity to get out there if you're in the area and not too far away. It's a pretty big show. It's obviously not the scale of the National, but it is not your average weekend card show, local card show. It's going to be pretty big. There's going to be a lot of dealers there. I've had the opportunity to now go to the last three, dating back to September of last year. Actually, I missed the November one last year, so I've gone to three in all. I went one in summer last year. They did one in the summer last year, I think, because it got pushed back because of COVID. And then they've done two this year in March and in during the summer in June. So this is their final one of the year. Just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about what I'll be kind of going after there. So I think it's been no secret that I've been trying to work on a couple sets here. You've seen cards from those sets kind of featured recently. 48 Bowman being one of them. This one I did not get at the show, but I just wanted to kind of point it out. This is one of the sets I'm going to be looking to try and complete. Another one is a card I picked up at the show just last time I went in June, and that is the 53 Bowman Color. This one was a card I picked up as I was working on trying to make a deal for a 67 Topps card that I needed for my set. So I was able to get a discount off of that card if I bought this card, and got a discount off of this card too. It's a beautiful three, a little off center. I think that probably takes the most of it away from it, and there's a little staining on the back here, but just beautiful, beautiful card there. Couldn't be happier with that Stan Musial. So yeah, I'm working on those sets. For the 53 Bowman, it's probably the closest one I've completed. I have about a quarter of the set so far, so keep working at it. And then the other one that's going to be more of a long-term project is a card. I actually picked this card up at the very first Chicago Sports Spectacular I went to. I got this one and also this one as well. I got the 54 Bowman Feller with it. Is the Diamond Stars. Now these were released over the course of 3 years. I've done a video on that. So it's like 34 to 36. These are kind of the years in which Diamond Stars were released. There's only 108 cards to complete. It's missing two of the biggest stars of the day that it didn't really have a rights to be able to produce. They don't have Lou Gehrig, they don't have Babe Ruth, which if you're a collector actually makes it a lot easier to be able to finish the set, because those cards would be thousands and thousands of dollars if they had them. Not nearly as popular as the Gowies from the same era, from a couple of years earlier, but I think just equally as stunning and beautiful on there, and have a very similar design, but they have like some narrative on the back about the player. A little bit of stat line on some of them, but not all of them do. I think a lot of them kind of like has a little bit of trivia on there and stuff like that about the player. So I have like 4 cards from that set, so it's not anywhere near something I want to kind of talk about being near complete. Yeah, so I mean, like, I'm kind of looking forward to going to the show. Also some stuff I got recently. Just wanted to, my friend Robbie and I, we broke another box from the early 2000s yesterday. We broke a 2006 actually Topps box, blaster box. One of the things they featured in there too, I didn't notice at the time, even though I completed that set, but I didn't buy blaster boxes to do it, was they had a pack of vintage cards in there, 1 per every box. That was kind of their big feature thing, and it was all commons from us from the mid 80s, which were kind of cool. There was 85, 83, and 84 Topps sets cards in there. So that was kind of cool. I got that one. But we opened up the 2006 box, and there's really not much of note. Really base cards across the board, and just a very few stars. Like Chase Utley was one I pulled aside and kept. This is the only gold card we got, was this Matt Trainer. Not really, I don't really remember him so much. He must have been a backup player. This one was printed out of 2006 cards. So I held on to it just because it's one of the serial number cards in the set. That's kind of cool. Kept Curt Schilling in there, still with the Boston Red Sox at that time. Kept Chris Carpenter. You know, he was a really awesome postseason performer for the Cardinals during that time period. Did get a Derek Jeter. This is a card we do have in his gold version that I've shown before, so I'll put that in the binder with the rest of the Jeter cards I got. Jim Edmonds, got another good performer for the Cardinals. Hall, very good for him. Todd Helton, who may also end up just being in the Hall of Very Good, but he's still Hall of Fame eligible. And then we did get 1 rookie card of note, which was Ian Kinsler, who had a pretty good career, a couple All-Star appearances, I believe. So I held on to that one. And the only thing that came in the mail this week was I picked up another Derek Jeter gold card that was graded. I got the 2008 Topps gold card, and this one's going to be out of 2008. It was numbered 466, and it's a PSA 7. Looking at the card, you can even see some of the wear even in this picture here in the video. You can see it down here and down here respectively. You can see there's a little whiting on the corners there, and it's slightly off center. That was the first thing I noticed when I pulled it out of the packaging when I got it. But still a really cool card to have. I would like to be able to get all the gold cards of Derek Jeter graded at some point, even if I'm going to submit ones that I have for grading. The only one I don't own at this point of the series from 2001 until he retired in 14 is the 2007 one. So that might be a card I'll be maybe looking for at the show. We'll see. Hope to see you guys out there. Feel free to just shoot me an email. My email address is in the description for this video. If you think you're going to be at the show, I'm going Friday. Happy to be able to try and meet some people up there. Show opens at 3:30 that day, and that's probably about the time I'm going to be arriving. And I have no set time I got to leave, so I'll be around for a while and hopefully just kind of going through binders of vintage cards to be able to kind of complete some sets. So you guys have a great rest of your weekend and a great week, and I'll see you then.